All right, 4:47 right now on your Monday morning, and another day in the 90s. Although I should say, Chris, unlike in, say, early June, we are in the middle of July at this point. So
yeah, we expect this.
Expected.
Yeah, do you know what? It's July. We
Right.
are pretty much at 90, 91 most of the month. But yesterday officially was the 7th in a row. Now, you oftentimes will visit the 80s. We just haven't done it as much. So that's why it kind of seems a little bit more jarring. It's really once you get into the upper 90s, whoa. But we're not going to be there over the next 5 days. We spiked to 94, which is actually lower than the last two highs we had over the weekend. Then the lower 90s, a little bit closer to where we were on Friday. And then back to the lower to the mid 90s heading into the weekend. I think by the end of the weekend, we're talking about the mid to even the upper 90s starting to return. Our rainfall chances, though, right now scattered to likely over the next few days. But then after that, it's that usual 20 to 30% chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. We just have a better lift to the environment over the next few days. So that's the reason why those are a little bit higher. But it still doesn't look to be super vast because by about 3 o'clock, I think you see some showers and storms in the mountains. Then we see some development, really, especially west of I-77. These have been extremely isolated systems, sometimes pretty slow moving, and it just depends on wherever they set up. So that means the further east that you go, less likely you see a storm at all. But I think a lot of us watching aren't going to really have their first storm until later on in the evening, even overnight. That we're seeing some signs of this lasting until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. But then after that, we are dealing with a little bit of fog. So here's what it looks like tonight, down to the lower 70s. Still a slight heat index for most of the overnight because of how humid it's been. And then our forecasted visibilities, you can see them constantly up and down, spiking all over the place. I think you will have some patchy dense fog starting off tomorrow. All right, now let's get to tomorrow's rain chances. They're all over the place as well. One of two scenarios. Either it's kind of like today, very isolated nature, but there is a chance that we kind of have these converging systems. So mid to late afternoon, I think you have a little bit more scattered variety starting off towards the north and west. That's why we have more of a likely chance for rain tomorrow. Then it starts to fade out heading into the evening, and then you could have a lasting shower as late as midnight. And then after that, a lot less of these are popping up on the map for your Wednesday. But one thing that we're really going to be keeping an eye on is whatever happens off the Florida Gulf Coast. A 10% chance over the next 2 days, but it's really over the next 2 to 7 that we have a just low chance for our next named storm. So this storm is all dependent on what that low pressure system is going to do. The next name on the list is Dexter, which actually replaced Dorian on the list from 2019, one of those historic storms that affected the Bahamas. And usually we hit our 4th named storm by about the middle of August. This would yet again be well above schedule, keeping that trend about doing things about a month in advance as far as what the tropics usually do. 7-day forecast, the more moisture that we have, of course, the hotter you're going to feel. And I think because of that system, we're at least seeing that surge of moisture back to the mid 90s once you get into the weekend with those daily pop-up shower and thunderstorm chances. Of course, whatever that system down towards the south could affect the back end of their forecast, but pretty much business as usual what you expect for July in the near term. That's your weather report. Let's go over to Nick Carbo.